Heading into this game, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Celtics were only separated by one game for best record in the East. Cleveland had the best record in the East. This game was an important game for both of these teams, I believe, but probably more important for Cleveland because they needed to get a win against the Celtics just to send them a message that they can compete with them. Granted, in this game, Jaylen Brown didn't play, but the Celtics had Porzingis, who looked pretty good in this game. He looked like his regular self. I don't know if this is like his second or third game back. I believe he's been back for the last few games, but he looked pretty good in this game. Anyways, this was a game where the Cavs, I felt they needed to win just to have some confidence against the Celtics since they don't match up really well with them. And they were able to obviously get the win in this game. I wouldn't say it was really impressive, but the thing that really stood out to me was just Jayson Tatum in the fourth quarter. I remember last year asking this question, not last year, I would say several months ago, about why people hate Jayson Tatum so much. This was during the finals when the Celtics were playing the Mavericks. And I didn't originally understand it because Tatum is not really a hateable player in the sense that he's not like a villain or like a polarizing figure like a LeBron James where you either love him or hate him. To me, he was like a boring, generic, personality. Just there's nothing that really stands out about him. His game is not really exciting to watch. Just I felt like he was like a generic star, just like a box cutter star. Just nothing about him. Just like makes you go, oh wow, look at this guy. Granted, he is one of the top players in the league. I guess you could say he's a great player, but I always have my reservations about him. He's definitely a legit all-star talent. I can say that, but I just couldn't get why people hated him. And I remember I got some responses, which was that people hated him because they felt that he wasn't a legit superstar and that because he always gets bailed out by his teammates, he doesn't have to perform at a high level to win, and that he's just not legit. So that was really the main thing I would get in the comments reading last several months ago, just about why people didn't like him. And in this game, I was reminded of that. Granted, I don't hate Tatum, but I was reminded of why people really despise Tatum. It's like that guy you see at work that doesn't really have to work hard to get ahead. He always gets the promotions and it just falls into his lap. But you feel he didn't get it on merit. Just this thing just drop into his lap, and it's for other reasons. Maybe he's good at schmoozing people to get those raises or promotions, and that's what makes you despise him. Tatum kind of does remind me of that guy. Just everything gets handed to him without really having to work for it. Not to say that Tatum isn't great, because he did have to work to be a great player, but just when it comes to winning, it just seems like things are handed to him when he doesn't really have to try hard like other guys when it really matters. And I think this game really showed it in the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, he came into the game with like several minutes left. The Celtics are up 93-84. It looked like a short thing for the Celtics that they were going to win this game and that just the Cavs are just going to lose. Just it seemed like they had all the momentum on their side, and it looked like they were just going to close it out, just like championship teams do. And then the Cavs went on a run. They hit a few shots and they got back into this game. What was really interesting to me was for several minutes, it felt like the Celtics were up by like 6 or 7 points. And Tatum didn't check into the game until like I said, 7 minutes within the fourth. And it's just like the Celtics were up by like 6 or 7 points, and they would just keep going back and forth to that type of margin. And in that stretch, it's like Tatum didn't really want to step up. It was like he was hoping for someone to rescue him or save him, and he didn't want to really assume the role of just taking over the game. Like, he was terrible in that stretch. He was 1 for 7. Just that whole entire stretch he played in the fourth quarter. He hit one shot that put them up by 5, but after that, just he was struggling. And it just seemed to me that he was just hoping that his teammates would bail him out like they've done in the past. And they almost did. It came really, really close. But he was forced to lead his team to victory, and he failed. I remember just even saying out loud when watching the game, granted, I'm neutral about it. I'm not a fan of either team, Celtics or Cavs. I kept on screaming from my TV, let Tatum take the shot if you're the Cavs. Stop giving his teammates open shots where they can bail him out. Force him to take over the game. Just force him. He's not going to do it. He's going to choke. he just doesn't have it in him. And I was right. There was a sequence where the game was tied like 101 to 101 with like a minute and 40 seconds left. Jayson Tatum drives to the hole. I think there was Jared Allen and it could have been either Donovan Mitchell or Garland right there on the baseline when he drove to the hole, and he just point blank missed the shot just when driving to the hoop. Just it was an ugly shot attempt and he couldn't finish. And then on the next possession, they're down 103 to 101. Tatum then again drives to the hole, and he actually has a mismatch. He just has Garland underneath the basket. He easily gets the shot off against him, and he misses the layup, the point blank layup. That should have been an easy layup, and he misses it. And that's pretty much the end of the game because the Cavs then score the next possession. They're up by 4, but that sequence really showed to me what Tatum's all about. That this guy just isn't. It's not in him to be clutch. He just doesn't have that ability. He always needs to be bailed out by his teammates, and if not, well, he's going to lose a game then. And this game was just the typical game where he almost got bailed out. Granted, they have Jaylen Brown. If they did, I think they probably win the game without him having to step up in the pressure situation. But Tatum's that guy that he's good for 3 quarters, and if you have a loaded team, you have a high chance of winning with him. But if all things are equal, if both teams are equal in talent, and this guy has to be your guy, especially in the fourth quarter, he won't rise up to the challenge. That's just my opinion about it, but it may not affect the Celtics this year. It didn't affect them last year because they were just clearly the best team. When it came to depth and talent, it didn't matter. And they might be able to get away with it again because they look to be, again, like the best team in the league. Just when you look at their roster talent-wise, like they have several guys that can really play at a high level, so they might get away with it again. But if they are ever unfortunate to meet a team that's equal in talent, then I could see them losing. So, but we'll see. I don't see a team yet to step up to the challenge and the ability to dethrone them, but there might be a team as the season progresses. I'm just waiting and watching to see what occurs. But I think that is concerning if you're a Celtics fan. You just hope that the Celtics are by far superior, like they were last year in talent, so they can get away with Tatum's choke jobs in the fourth. But that's all I have to say.